Hey, Cayman Wolf here from Creative AI. On this channel, we like to explore the different ways that artificial intelligence can create and interpret works of art. Today, we're going to be looking at how artificial intelligence can take a piece of music that you've created on something like, for example, Noteflight or Flat.io or any music composition software, really. Well, the output of that, the result of that, tends to be a very stilted sounding composition because it was created on a computer. So there's no very slight imperfections, no slight imperfections in dynamics or timing or any of the things that make a piece of music human. There's no expression. Everything is perfect to the millisecond and at exactly the right volume, and it's played the same way every time. And so it's very obviously being played by a computer, and so it doesn't sound good to us humans. So we're going to look at how to take that music and humanize it using artificial intelligence. Now, before I go any further, let me just say that if you're a musician and you already have a good digital audio workstation, this may not be for you. This is something you can probably already do with your equipment. But if you're like me, if you like to just dabble, maybe you like to dabble in composition, maybe you have a MIDI file that you want to humanize for some reason, incorporation into a video or a game, or maybe you're just looking for an easier way to do this. Personally, I just find the technology very, very interesting. So here's a little composition I put together in Noteflight some years ago. So if we play this thing, it just sounds like garbage. And well, I mean, I'm not going to speak for the quality of the composition, but for the in terms of the performance, it's very obviously MIDI that was created by a computer that's being played on a computer, and there's just no expression in it whatsoever, and it just really sounds like garbage. So now we're going to come over here to a little application, a little web service called ArtInfuser. Now, ArtInfuser has several things here that it can do at a high level. And I encourage everyone to check this out. I mean, it's a really amazing looking service that these guys have put together, completely free, apparently, at least for now. I would encourage everyone to support these guys via Patreon. That's the only way. It looks like they're asking for support for their site. I'll look into some of these other things possibly in future videos. But the thing I really want to concentrate on today is this one here called Perform. If we go up here to upload and then come down here to browse, that will of course open up File Explorer where we can choose the MIDI file that we exported from Noteflight or wherever you got it. Then we'll click upload and we'll upload it to the service. Then this is where we can start making decisions about how we want ArtInfuser to perform this thing. We can choose our instrumentation here, and you can listen to a sample of what their instrument sounds like. You can choose whether you want to play it hard, soft, hardest, softest. This is a slow kind of a world composition, kind of an ambiance piece. So I'm going to choose soft. And then over here, we have some settings such as reverb. Okay, so we can add an amount of reverb that would be reflective of different types of performance venues. Okay, so I'm going to choose 20% reverb here for far chamber, and then we can choose to render the entire track, or we can just preview a certain portion of it to see how these settings sound. We can maximize the master volume. We can add slur. So any of these options, you can float your mouse over here and it will give you more of an explanation of what these things do. So this allows you to add slurs to places where slurs aren't written in the music, as a person might do when they're just adding expression to their playing. So you can tweak this in various ways. You can auto pan, which will make it sound as if you have a multi-part piece, it will make it sound as if different people playing the same instrument are playing it from different places in the venue where it's being recorded. This is where you can put slight variations in the tempo as a human might do, not because they intend to do it, but because they're just human and they don't play accurately to the millisecond like a computer does. So this kind of emulates that. And then there's some other settings here that you can tweak to make the performance sound a lot more human. And then when you're done, you can, let's just go up here and choose, we're going to render the first 10 seconds just to see what that sounds like. Okay, so we've rendered the first 10 seconds of the performance. I'm going to go up here and click the play button just to sample what the first 10 seconds sounds like. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. No. Okay, so I just verified that you cannot because of the way I have my equipment configured here, but that's okay. I'm going to go back here to process again, and I'm going to choose to process the entire track. And then I will include a little snippet of the MP3 that it renders so that we can all hear it. And then I will link in the description to my other video where I've got this entire thing synchronized to Synthesia, so you can see the keys on the piano as it's playing the piece as well, but you're not hearing Synthesia. You're hearing this piece that was rendered by ArtInfuser. Okay, so now the piece has finished rendering, and once it does, you can listen to it, or you can download the master MP3 file. Okay, so now that the file is downloaded, this is what it sounds like. And oh, and by the way, I have to apologize for the grainy quality of the video here, guys. I promise you that if I ever get to where I get a significant amount of views on my channel, I'll invest in some much more high end audio video equipment. But for now, just bear with me and like and subscribe and share and all that if you don't mind, and you know, and help me get there. So this is what the file sounds like now that it's been rendered by ArtInfuser and downloaded. Just a little snippet of it here. Okay, so not exactly a studio recording or anything like that, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a far sight better than what it sounds like when it's sitting there playing on Note Flight. Much much more much higher quality render. In closing, I'd say that I can foresee some debate in the comments as to whether or not what ArtInfuser is doing here is actually artificial intelligence, because it's almost certainly not a neural network. But to that, I would say that artificial intelligence has become a has become a buzzword lately, particularly with large language models and neural networks. But the concept of artificial intelligence covers a much broader spectrum than just neural networks. They are a subset of artificial intelligence, and I would say that anything that will receive input and using predefined algorithms make intelligent decisions as to what to do with that input before rendering an output would be classified as artificial intelligence. And Chat GP3 backs me up on that. If you go ask him, he'll tell you the same thing. Um, so I think this qualifies for this channel. Um, if you want to, if you're interested in seeing the video that has the entire render of that piece of music and the Synthesia graphic of the keys playing the piece, that's I'll link that at the end of the video on the end screen and also down in the description. So guys, hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Creative AI.